Alright, hey everyone, how's everyone doing? So today we're going to be unboxing and building the Biketrix Ultra 1000 HD Duo. Now, it's not Ultra 1000, it's the Ultra HD Duo. Right, so really excited about it. Right, the tools that we need is right, our box cutter right here, right, to really get at the zip ties. If you want your wrench, your multi-purpose wrench, well as your regular wrench, right, if I can find it. Right, as well as a regular wrench here, because you're going to be using these to put on the pedals. Like, there's specialized tools to put on pedals onto bikes, but that's not be okay. Definitely the Biketrix, all we need to worry about are the handlebars, the front wheel, and yeah, the pedals. Right, so have a measuring tape, right, just to see how things are. And by the way, I'm 6 feet, so and this is a 17-inch, right? This is a small bike. They think, I should be a 19, but no, 17 is like 19-inch bikes. They're just bigger, right? It's not just height. A bike is 2-dimensional, even 3-dimensional, so it's going to be much more difficult to manage. I got the 17 one, right? 62 inches, right? So, and it looks pretty small. It really looks nice to me. So, let's go ahead. I already cut out the ties. This is going to be smoke rating. I'm gonna unbox this thing, and then I think the laptop's charging. I should have charged it up to 100 so you guys can get a closer view, but it's close. I think I'll definitely try to bring it a bit closer. But actually, I'll just end up bringing it closer when I unbox everything. So. Make sure it's recording. Right, and you're recording, and then these strands are annoying. I try to keep it neat. Obviously, this is a seller, right? Neat. This place has nothing about neat, so I'm not try to worry about that. Alright, it's an interesting box. It looks lidded. Looks like this thing is a lid compared to the previous thing. Compared to the previous stock we've ever seen in Biketrix. I'll scratch up the box. Too bad, right? Say if there's any issue, you definitely want to make sure everything is in good condition. So just want to be careful here, right? Always don't scratch up the box. Maybe you get the wrong piece, maybe you get the wrong size. You definitely just want to keep careful, right? And it's lidded. Actually, this is nicer, right? We're going to open it up, right? And then, since I'm a strong guy, I'm going to try to take everything out in one fell swoop. Right, so this is the front tire. Very nice. I think these are 27.5 by 3. And they look really slim. They look really slim in the camera, but they're actually, they're okay. They're like a medium. I'd say they're a medium in camera. And then, right, I want to take out the bike. But before I can take out the bike, right, I just want to kind of lay some foam on the floor here. Just want to make sure that, right, that anything that have some foam, right, so I don't ruin the bike, right, good, I see the disc brakes covered, right, I think I should have enough foam, right, oh, there's some thermal wrap right here, right, keep things cold from overheating. I need a battery to keep things warm, so if you see I have some thermal wrap over here, right, and I need the opposite of a thermal wrap, so if anyone knows, let me know in the comments or reach out to me. Alright? You know what? I think it's a good idea for me to try to use this thermal wrap. Let me just get that set up, and then I'll return to the video. Alright, so you can see, I got my thermal wrap laid out. I put that right there so that, everything stays flat. They kind of didn't want to jump, so put this back out the way and take off this bike. And it's a step through. Oh wow, this is interesting. Oh yeah, I think there's that battery in there. Right, so this might be a bit of an issue. Is it playing? Alright, let me see if I can just get it out. The box didn't feel heavy, but I think what it is, I have nowhere to lift. So. Alright, again, a bit sweaty. So just pause it and try to take this thing out. Alright, so we're going to try to take this out. And I think, you know, there's like some holes blown, so I think like it's getting caught in places. Yeah, it's getting caught. But it's set. Good to know. Good, so right. You get that front stand. I notice you can't stand on another that has a stand. Right, you just kick that down. Definitely feel like putting it against the wall. Or just having something like, probably having it lean against the chair. I don't want it to lean over. So I'm just trying to do that, try to get the chair. Okay, and then have it lean towards the left side. So push comes to shove. Well, maybe this is there, but so far it wants to stay balanced. Right, so let's try to give out a better angle. Right, try to move out the wheel. I don't want to hear that sound. Oh well. I just want to, the important thing is just make sure that the disc brakes and the rims, right, if I lean, right, make sure I'm not leaning against the disc brakes in the rotor here. Right, we don't have a lot of vertical. I should have just moved all those frames, but you know what? Let's see if you have like a good angle, a better angle. You just right, you can just focus on it like this. Right, okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna first start removing all the shrink wrap. Right, so I'm gonna take my box cutter. Just like carefully remove all the zip ties, right? Just be super careful about it, right? But I do have a scissor. I'm not sure where I put the scissor, and we're still running, right? So might as well just do that instead, right? Really try to get at it right now. They're tightly mounted, so definitely someone from Bike Tricks is all watching this. Make sure they're just not tightly mounted, so I could just get in there, but. In that case, let me try to let's see if there's like a gap, like an X-slit. Oh, right, and you see that blowback, right? You could really cut my fingers here in the end of this video. So definitely Bike Tricks for next time. Try not to make these as tight. And you just have to pull them off. Was that? Alright, I'll put the scissor down. So I'm not in the garbage or the walls. This is like taped on, right? So again. Try to keep up, and then right. Another reason I wear gloves, right? This disc brake, right? You don't want to contaminate that. If you touch that with your hands, it's going to get oily. It's going to get contaminated. When you hit the brakes, you're going to hear that. So definitely want to make sure that you don't touch those. Right now we have a zip tie which we could get to. So just go ahead and get my zip tie in there. And then always when you're cutting, you just always want to make sure that, hey, right, I'm not cutting any important wires. Like you see these wires, like these sensors, and it provides power. So like you just want to make sure you're not cutting any cables, right? But I think it's more difficult to do. You don't have to be too worried about it, but just know that, hey, I could cut a cable. Let me be careful. Let me not go wanton trying to get all the foam off. Just work your way around slowly and carefully, right? Because if you don't know what you're doing, I don't think it's covered by the warranty. So, you want to work your way out slowly, carefully. Just make sure that your hard spent money, right, is not wasted by wantonness. Alright? Alright? Oh, but if you see tape, you can just pull it off. Not worry about anything concerning the tape. Alright, good. Right. Yeah, the bike is already running. Alright, we're just gonna get out the other side here. Covering the derailleur over there. I'm gonna try to get at. Definitely always like trying to put my laptop at different angles, so I'm gonna try to put it for the crowd here. And then another thing that sucks about the laptop is touch screen. Alright, so I gotta really be careful about getting at the screen here. Alright, here we go. So I just removed this top portion right here, removing the foam wrap off the derailleur. Now we're going to continue to remove the foam wrap. And probably from the seat. I was just interested with the seat. Continue to try to move that foam wrap. I'm just looking at this bike and it's long, it's compact, right? I'm in New York City. In the city, you always want compact. Right? And the reason I went for the 17 is up to the 19. Looking at the 17, I think that the 19 would be that big too, but I am not regretting that I'm holding on to it. Because you have the same battery carrying a bigger bike. So if I were you, get the 17 over the 19. But then we're just gonna ride it, see how it goes. But I do have an e-bike, probably the same size as this, so I'm super excited. Right, so yeah, bike tricks, as you can see here, right, this is kind of a bit messy. Just please don't roll these zip ties too tight. Now, just going to stay on like that. Right, so now the back wheel's free. You can take a nice little look at it, right? Even though it's not the best angle, but that's how it is up close. Right, they're going to start working on the pedals, and we're going to start working on the taking off the wrap off these handlebars, right, and the down tube, right, where that battery should be. And I'm wondering if right, test the case. Okay, so that's what. Okay, so that's the jumps, right? That battery itself, right there. Because I went for the max battery option, right? Because I just want that range, man. If I'm hitting, I just want that range, man. I just want to know that, you know, come rain or snow, I can go anywhere in New York City and not get stranded, right? And I just really want to know how this thing rides, right? With the if this battery dies, because I do know that, you know, the bike is that bikes, right, regular e-bikes, right, the motor is always, especially with the mid-drives, the motor is always in the way. So, definitely want to know what happens if this thing dies. It's going to ride like a regular bike, or is it going to be super difficult and heavy? This bike is heavy to pick up. I don't think it's going to be heavy to ride. We'll have to tell. Alright, so now I'm going to move all the shrink wrap from the down tube. Right, yeah, just once again, be super careful. Definitely pull out the wire. Pull at the shrink wrap with tape on it, but also just want to be careful. Right, you don't want to reach out any wires. And I see there's a lot of important parts here, so I'm just definitely going to take my box cutter and just rip out the tape so this thing can come off. Can slide right off. Just wondering where the opening was. Alright, there's that. There's that. Alright, there's a zip tie I need to cut open. Alright. You saw there's like a zip tie in the lower bottom. This thing should start letting go. Right, it's not letting go, right? That's what we're saying. It's not letting go. You just gotta find the point where they cross. Yeah, and definitely notice for next time even from bike tricks noting, just try to make sure that the cap. Oh, wait, that's interesting. You can't make sure that the cavity closes at a certain point. Yeah, I'm just saying that. Just be more mindful because you don't want one of these box cutters could cut an important wire, right? And now, this is the connection for the. I know that was on bike tricks. One-way connector. You must align the red marks. Right, that's for the extra. Right, so the down tube's in here already. Right, that's for the shrink wrap on it. Right, so that's the down tube. Okay, and right, so now that's the tattoo, that's how it looks, and now we're just gonna work on the handlebar area. Should move it forward, hopefully this laptop does not die while I'm working on this thing. Alright, work on the handlebar area. Alright, take shit come right off. Good. Alright. Some more styrofoam just to protect the fork assembly, not the fork assembly, but just the stem that goes through it. Right, you got a little more shrink wrap. Right, but remember, there's your brakes, and this is a hydraulic brake system. You don't want to use that pressure, and they can't brake in the front wheel. Especially if you're off-roading, right? You want to make sure you have that full braking power. So definitely a spot to be very careful here while cutting. Not that this happened to me, I'm just, I really have been waiting for this bike, and after you wait so long, you'd be ashamed to make a mess and give Bike Tricks more of your money to make it right. So definitely want to be careful here, right? And you can see these connectors, right? I'm not even gonna try to. Yeah, I'm just gonna try to instead just try to get that off. Alright, these are connected. Alright, so you gotta move that piece off, but then there's gonna be another piece that comes off. So there's like a piece of garbage up here, right? This thing's leaning on me. Yep. That's it's a light bike, right? I gotta worry about that. Right, and now this is that, right? You just want to keep this on, this front piece on until it's time to throw on the front wheel. And I'm hoping and I'm praying that there's no zip tie in that area. And is this piece of wood getting in the way? Yeah, I think it is. Messing with that brake guard or that brake caliper system they got going there. Right? I'm gonna try to get rid of more of the tape. Right, and now last but not least is the handlebars. Yes, you definitely got it. Try to give you some good angles. Is I just try to remove the handlebar system. I'm trying to back it away. Alright, so good. Alright, so that came off with one flow of my suit. Alright, and good. Alright, so definitely, I definitely want to read the instructions. It's really just straightforward with these bikes, right? So first we're just going to work on the handlebar assembly. I'm just going to get the pedals in a bit. Right. So first with these handlebars, right, so what we're going to need the Allen key. Right, if you can see, right, this is how the handlebars get set up, right? We're going to have to remove those 4 nuts and bolts, right? Keep them in the same spot. It might blend in with the thermal wrap that I have on the floor, so I have actually a container right behind me I'm going to use. Right? Take those front bolts off, place that stem in, and put them back on. The only issue is just giving yourself a good angle. And so I'm trying to move this chair. That's what I'm supposed to use to hold up the bike. Right? So, screeching noise, if you heard that screeching noise, that's the rear caliper. That's like brake disc screeching noise. If you touch them with your hands, make sure you have some gloves. Right? Water is okay, it's just getting oil on the calipers and contaminate them that way. Alright. I get the good old Allen key. Right, now one thing about it, even though this is like thermal wrap, bubble wrap,
my knees still hurt, you know? I always want, but, so, I always hate getting down my knees. My knees always complain. My knees always complaining, but, I don't know, I just ignore it. You know. It complains like, even though it's like 100 on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like a 1. It's like a 10 to me. Anything with my knees, it's a 10 with my knees. You know, but obviously that's what all doctors say. Anything with your knees, and I'm on my knees right now. Unless you have a bike stand, thought about getting it. I might get it. But I'm just gonna be on your knees most of the time while doing this assembly. Chair. I should have gotten a chair. Oh, I see the Canadian flag on it. That's real nice. That is real nice. I love it. Right, and then another thing with the bolts, right? I see just less bolts. Everything should be in the system already ready to go. And I think another thing if you see about the bike is just the front wheel, the handlebars, and the pedals, if you saw from earlier in the video. Right, that's all you need to do when it comes to Bitrix bikes. And most e-bikes. Alright, so I got that stem off. Alright, what we want to go ahead and do is we want to place this properly. You want the brakes to face away, the brake controls to face away. Just wanna properly put this on without making anything feel like that it is twisting, right? And you kind of want to center, right? So it's like there's like a serration going on, and you kind of want to make sure that it's center, right, with what you have with the bike holding bracket, right? And then also you just want to make sure it's facing towards you, right? This is interesting. Right, it's not staying too stable. I need to lock this in. Need to lock that in. But I think you could always switch it. Oh, that's nice. Right, it's a bit loose, right? So you could try to switch it up later. Right, so that's definitely a good design. Just not making this stuff tight, but yeah, this is kind of going to get really annoying if I don't lock this in. So let me just go ahead and deal with that. It still should be an upright position, but then, it's not good for the box, so. Right, it'll be like a 62 by 32, and then FedEx will have to classify it as a true freight package. Sure, I just does not want to do that. So I can maintain as regular shipping. Even though it's international. So I'll go ahead and make sure that this handlebar stem is tight. Right now. Now both I'm tightening it. Righty tighty, unless it comes to the pedals, which let me show you in a bit. Alright, that looks pretty tight. Alright, now the real job. Alright, so that can stay on like so, alright? Turn on like so, and then there's my dash. Alright, and then it's just important to try to make this sure that this handlebar is centered. If it's not centered, you're going to notice it. So you really want to make sure it's centered. And another advice to the Bitrix team, try to like mark out, how they should center it. Even though like people have a preferred way, but like for me, I definitely like a marking of how they should center, so that I can say okay. Right, because if you I feel like when putting the handlebars on, if you don't put them on just right, you're going to notice it. So, yeah, that should be good. Right, and then another thing is just keeping everything stable. Right, the main goal, you got to get one bolt in there. Once you get that first bolt in, you should be fine. Here's like but actually no, screw that logic. I think we want to do is we want to get all 4 bolts flushed in, right, so that there could be a balance, and then we go ahead to screw them all together, right, you're going to be fine. Right, and then I do believe that as you're screwing them down, you could shift, right, you should be able to shift it, right, so that could help, right, so, but if you just want to go ahead and take your magic Allen key, multiple head Allen key. There should be tools. And yeah, by the way, there should be tools. If not, definitely I'm just showing you the tools that I use, right, when it comes to deal with any bike. Right. Huh. I think I have to use it bigger. Maybe it's flushing in properly, but we'll see. We'll see about that. Then I wish I had a drill that could take these, as I don't know if drills would do that. I think they do. It's 2021. Drills should definitely be able to deal with bolts like they deal with nails. Right, it's not. It's having a hard time trying to find its way to the hole. Alright, yep, now it's hot. Very good. Alright. Now what I don't like about this Allen key is that its keys keep coming out. So there's that. Very good. That got caught. And then the other 2. They're going to go in properly. This is the time. Going properly. Alright, and then the display's kind of in the way. Put that display out the way, see what's going on. Okay, right, and then you could definitely see, right, it's a little